Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You ain't run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. We're gonna jump right into it, man. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. That is the Sensei Stormy B, man. And this brother right here, I have on the line, goes by the name of Miles Bailey. Miles, how you doing, good brother?
I'm hanging in there, Drew, and the crew. Is Mr. Pendleton with you?
He ain't answer the phone. He might be sleeping.
Well, let's get him up, because I'm gonna bring up some memories from yesterday on him. He's gonna be shocked.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot him a text in a bit. You know, he's been very busy. I'm on here with my brother Stormy B, man. Remember the brother I told you out of Chicago?
Hey, Stormy, how you doing there, good brother?
Doing pretty good, Miles. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. You know, it's been a long road, but I'm back in the boxing scene. You know, I was with Vander with Real Deal Promotions about 5-6 years ago, and I'm the one that brought Mike Tyson out of retirement. He was supposed to fight Sapp, but he wound up fighting Roy Jones.
Okay. Well, Evander's my favorite fighter, man.
Yeah, well, that's my man. We came up together. He went to the Junior Olympics with my buddy Pinchback in 1980.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Let's bring everyone up to speed, because the crowd's falling into the building. Salute to y'all. I ain't do the roll call, but we're gonna jump right into it. I see the family. Just know that I love y'all. Miles, just give everyone a background of who you are and how you got started in the business.
Well, I actually started in the Fort Apache gym in the Bronx, but I quickly transitioned over to South Queens Boys Club, and then right over to Bed-Stuy where all the Sharks were there. Mark Breland, Eddie Mustafa, Riddick Bowe, Eddie Gregg. I mean, I can go on Ronald McCall, Owen McGeechee, Sunday Foster, Michael Bent. I mean, we can go on and on. The lineage and Bicycle Bob. There's a lot of guys who used to be Bed-Stuy. Joel Judah, actually, his son, Zab, was just a little kid when I got there, 1980. They were running around. So there it is. And then, like I said, I fought. I was in the headlines in 82. Then I fought the Junior Olympic champion, Felix Tito Rosado. I had like 2 or 3 fights. He had 90. I fought him to a standstill. So, and then, like I said, I can go further on. I hooked up with Mike McCallum, the body snatcher. And there's a couple more fighters. Eddie Mustafa, he was there. And we can go on and on. And I jumped right into the management shortly after that, where I had Kristen Mechanic Smith, can't do Bethel Boykin. He was a heavyweight that fought in the Olympics. Well, he's an alternate. And Lonnie Thompson, I didn't have him, but I got him out of his contract with Main Events. And I was rolling with those guys and the money team. I was at their gym about 5-6 years ago. And then I jumped in with my man, Evander Holyfield. We started Real Deal Promotions back in 2017 in Atlantic City. We brought in Sal Muzanichi.
Wow. So for those of you that are in the building right now, this man has an extensive resume. And you've been around the industry, like we was talking earlier, since the early 80s, man.
1980, 43, up in 40, Fort Apache with Louis DeVal, Louis Honeyboy, who has, he has Badu Jack right now.
Yeah. So
he has a whole bunch of fighters, but there you go.
So pretty much, and for those of you people in the building, you know, I want y'all to connect these dots. You know, I'm not going to leave no stone unturned here. What we have on the phone here is what I would call a boxing insider. And when I do my voice like that, you know who the fuck I'm mocking.
Well, listen.
We have a real boxing insider on the phone, a real one, a real boxing insider. Okay.
Well, I want to give you a little more speed. They call me the boxing aficionado. I used to be with Shoot the Five from Manhattan. He just died, Xavier Porter. We started out with a podcast. You can still look it up right now. Shoot the Five and Miles Bailey. You'll see us right on YouTube talking about the fighters like we're doing now, but they actually have my face. I have a USA shirt on. So, and then my daughter, just to give you some more insight, she works with Eddie Hearns in Matchroom Boxing. She does all the little things. She does the translation, she does the travel. She used to be a promoter because when I was a manager, I couldn't do both because it violates the Muhammad Ali law, but I kind of did it, to be honest. But she was technically the promoter, and I was the manager. So we did a couple of shows upstate, and her name is Barbara Millage. They call her Brittany, and she's running strong with Matchroom right now, and she speaks fluent Spanish.
So, yeah. So I hope everyone caught that. Your daughter, just to be clear, works at Matchroom.
Yeah, Matchroom Boxing with Eddie Hearns.
With Eddie Hearns.
Yes, she does.
Okay, so she's an employee.
Yes, she is, and she does a lot of work. She goes to London, England. Like next week, she's going to Mexico. She's doing a show at Madison Square Garden next month in February. She does it all. So I used to take her to the gym when she was a little girl to introduce her to my man Richard Steele, a Mesa. That's Tim Griffith's brother. Up in Mr. Steele had the gym in Las Vegas, Nevada. Then he went from referee to a promoter.
I would say I would love to have your daughter on the show, but that would definitely put her job in jeopardy the way I kill Eddie Hearn on here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that.
Well, she would tell like this. I was trying to get on the show last year. There was a Spanish guy, not last year, about 3 years ago, when we were doing Tyson Sapp, and being that she speaks fluent Spanish, but she didn't come on, but it would have been good.
How long has she been in the industry?
Well, she started with me about 10. She got a promoter's license when she was 21. And she's about 32 now. So about 12 years. But she's really been in longer than that because I used to take her to the gym with me when she was a little girl, take pictures and introduce her to everybody. So she's well in it, hands and feet, up to her neck in it.
Wow. So she's back and forth over the pond.
Yeah, because she went to England. She goes to UK.
How long has she been working with Matchroom?
About 5 years now. 5
years. Was she in New York when AJ came to New York and fought Andy Ruiz?
Yeah, she had that big fur coat on, which I bought for a nice. It looked like not a tiger skin, but like the lion color. And they kept saying, "Where'd you get that fur coat from?"
Was she by the locker room, like
downstairs? That's her. Look pretty good. Once you look up on you'll see her on all my Facebook stuff. You go to my Facebook, she's always on my page somewhere.
Well,
she's in my page now.
I'm asking because I heard some things about what happened that night when he fought Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua.
Right.
And a buddy of mine who's since passed from COVID, I didn't go to the fight because I thought I knew how it was going to turn out. And long story short, there was some suspect of foul play, some poisoning and stuff. They said AJ didn't look right. I just wanted to double and triple up on that.
Something was said, but it was never proven because you know how this world is. Nobody wants to come clean. I heard that too, but nobody had the proof of exactly what happened. But I think he avenged the loss by fighting him again, and he won a decision, split decision.
Yeah.
The next time.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I heard some things, and I said, "What?" I said, "What the hell's going on over there?"
And also, as you notice, like if you go back in history, like when Bo fought Holyfield, when the first time I thought Bo was going to get him because it was the big man beats the small man, like when George Foreman knocked out Joe Frazier. But then when he came back the second fight, Bo wasn't really in good shape. He was like 10, 15 pounds over, and Holyfield out-hustled him the second fight. Yeah, so that's what really happened with Ruiz. After he won that fight over Joshua, he didn't get in shape, and he came in like 20, 30 pounds overweight, and that usually happens. They don't, and the results are usually they're bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's a lot going on. Stormy, you got any questions for the good brother?
Wow, it seems like he was right there. I'll say this about Holyfield Bo too, though. Bo may have come in out of shape and not in the greatest shape that he was in the first go round, and he didn't have Eddie Futch again. But the tables were turned simply with Evander bringing Emmanuel Stewart in to help him.
Oh yeah, that definitely helped. You know,
yeah.
so but usually the second time around, the guy is the same repeat performance if you're in shape. Because if you go back a little further, when Larry Holmes lost to Michael Spinks, he could have won the first fight because he hurt him, but then the second fight, Spinks came in shape and he out-hustled Larry again. I think that was more politics. They didn't want Larry Holmes to break that record of Rocky Marciano's back then, if you remember. He was 48-0 going into the first fight. Then he said blasphemy as far as the history saying that Rocky Marciano couldn't carry my jockstrap. Everybody remember that?
Yep.
I remember that.
Well, and honestly, he probably would have beat Rocky because he was a bigger guy. Not that he hit so hard, but he could have kept him away with the jab. And because if you guys know, back then, heavyweights didn't come in more than like 185, 190. Joe Louis was 196. But Rocky's biggest was 188 when he came in, 190, somewhere in there. And he was only 5'10". So he didn't punch like Tyson. Tyson would have destroyed Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was back then, that was how the guys were. And like with Floyd Patterson, he was really a middleweight when he came out of the Golden Gloves. Now, Sonny Liston was really the first heavyweight, and he wasn't really that big. Sonny was about 6'3", 210. And then in these days, you see these guys 250, 260. It's crazy. The only reason why Wilder, he's a lanky guy, but he can hit. So, but even him, he's starting to come in a little 230, 240 now. But the average heavyweight is close to 250 right now.
These guys look like football players. My brother Marco in the building, man. Salute.
What's up?
All right, Marco.
Yeah, Miles. Marco's also from New York. He's from Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
Where you
How
from?
you doing there, good brother?
Good, man. What part are you from?
I'm really from Brooklyn, but then I moved to Vegas and I'm upstate now. But I've been in the boxing game for 43 years.
I used to go. The first gym I ever went to, I was a fighter, was the old Elijah Days gym over on 42nd Street. You know what I'm talking about? Kingsway?
Where was that? Say it again.
Kingsway. It was on 42nd. It was right next to the Port Authority bus terminal.
Okay, I haven't been up there, but my man Dante Ortiz used to be up there. I think the Fifth Street gym. It was a nice gym up there. He was throwing nice boxing matches. Plus, he moved to Vegas to the Mayweather gym. So everybody seemed to migrate up there. Or the Johnny Tacos gym. There's another gym up there. But you guys can go look at some of the stuff I have in the boxing channels. And me and Evander, you'll see all my stuff. Anybody want to look, you'll see all the boxing stuff. It's really, really good.
So, Trick Note in the building, man. What up?
And just for you guys to know, we got a nice show coming up March 18th. Because I'm hooked up with Terry Hollis from Hollis Productions in Cleveland. It's a show coming up in 2 months. And my daughter's doing a show in Madison Square Garden next month, February 4th.
Who's on that card?
So I'm not 100% sure, but I know the card is going off. You mean the card in Madison Square Garden or the card in Cleveland?
The one in Madison Square Garden, because you know that's close. You know, I might be able to make that.
Oh, well, that should be coming out, or if it's not, it's usually out 30 days before the fight on BoxRec. So it should have been out like within a couple of days. I would check with her, but I didn't actually get who's on the card because I'm trying to fill the card I'm working with. I think Montana Love's brother is going to fight on our card March 18th in Cleveland. And we're going to probably use Cleveland against New York. That's what the guy was saying to me, my partner, because it's a little cheaper, to be honest, because when you got to fly these guys in from all over the country, the card can become very expensive.
Yeah,
and I think
y'all got to get a return on your investment.
Right, and also Mickey Bay and Cortez Bay is going to be working with my partner. Mickey Bay used to be with the Money Team.
Yeah, oh yeah, we know Mickey Bay very well.
Okay, so if you can get him on the show, he'll tell you a little bit about what's happening with that.
No doubt.
But I'm sorry I don't have more information, but I will have some on the next go around if you do it next week or within,
Yeah, absolutely. We here every week.
Okay.
I want to know more about like your experiences in the industry. Like the people you know. I know you're well connected. The people you know, I want to know the ins and outs. And what I like to cover here is the dirt. I want to know the dirt because we still have people that walk around here seem to think that this sport is all peaches and cream, and it's not.
Well, it's not just that. It's the politics of the money. You know, because big guys control it, like Kings, Arams, all of those guys. But I think the torch is being passed because not that they can't do it and they won't do it. They're going to die soon. Not because I'm saying it. When you get 90, 95, 100, we're all going, even me and you. I'm not saying but so I think that's what's the problem now because King and Aram and all those guys at the top, they got to pass the torch on. So, they've been holding on to the mallet for a long time, and Top Rank has been one of the big dogs in the industry since I guess the early '70s, and King too. He came out because when he came out and did the first fight out of prison, he was a co-promoter with Ali and Frazier, and the next one he was doing it himself, the Thriller in Manila. And then the last one, he did the Rumble in the Jungle with Ali. So King came a long way from the early '70s out of jail to right now where he's still not just moving strong, but he's okay. I heard he's doing a show coming up soon. I'm not sure, but that's what I heard.
I think the last show that Don King did, that was Daniel Dubois. He had Daniel Dubois on that show. And I don't know what the turnout was. I don't know what the money was. I'm not really like a numbers guy like that. But he had a little issue with Dubois, but Dubois got paid. But you're right. And these guys they're phasing out now. You know, Don King got to be about 100, and Bob Arum got to be about 104.
Yeah, well, close.
Yeah,
he was born in '93, and Aram's like '92. So you know the hourglass is coming to an end.
Yeah, so we got a lot of people doing things independent. Like you said, your daughter's doing some things. You know, Eddie Hearn is around now. He's trying to be a juggernaut.
Yes.
I clown him at every turn. I ain't even gonna hold you on that.
Got to do what you got to do because listen, it is what it is in the industry. But to be quite fairly about him, what I heard through the grapevine, I'm just what I'm hearing because believes half of what you hear and nothing of what you see, you're okay. But he came in trying to do the right thing, and they just kind of clowned him, like say, "Hey, take a walk and sit down." So that's why he came out with guns blazing, not literally guns, but say, "Okay, y'all want to treat me this way? This is what I'm going to do now." So that's why it's this way now. But he did kind of sit to the table and be gentlemanly with some of the guys, and they didn't take too kindly to that because they figured he just came outside. Now his dad is the real go back. He goes back to the '60s. Barry Hearns, but he sits in the back and he's laid back, real cool guy. But there's a couple more guys in the industry I was working with, like Ron Weathers, who did the Holyfield George Foreman fight. I did a show in Biloxi 2018 in February. I wasn't the promoter, but I was working with Ron because Ron had a guy called the Dragon King that's supposed to come over and be something special from China. And Ron Weathers was pretty big. He was a big-time promoter.
What weight class was that guy?
The Dragon King was a heavyweight. He was like 19-0 or 20-0 with 19 knockouts.
And where's he now?
Listen, in the last 3 years, I kind of lost contact, but it's in the podcast me talking about him. Right. And you'll see. I would figure he's probably still hanging around because I didn't hear he got knocked out or anything, but he was pretty good. But we were supposed to do something special with him.
I'm always curious about these Asian heavyweights, because you don't normally see them. You know what I mean? What
I heard is that he had a billion people behind him. That's what I heard.
It's China.
Not when I say from China, of course. Because they don't get fighters like that. It's just it doesn't happen. They might get them little small guys. As my father would call it, it's like a Mexican stand-up. You ever seen two little guys standing there? Yeah. Nobody gets hurt. So those are the kind of guys that come out of those countries. But when you get a heavyweight, that's great because you're going to see some fireworks.
No doubt. Salute to my brother Flatboy Players in that super chat. He said, shout out to the brand panel. Salute, man. Salute to you, brothers. And our brother in the chat, Warriors Boxing, he says the Dragon King fought a few months ago.
Okay.
He says to ask Jim. The Brothers Warriors Boxing LLC says, ask Jim.
Well, I'm not sure about that 100% exactly where that happened. Jim Hunter is a guy I was working with also, so Jim might know a lot more about it.
Okay, I never heard of this fella. Warriors Boxing, if you could drop a link of like a highlight reel of this guy, Dragon King. I'm just curious because I never, I don't know everything. I'm just curious of who this guy. He fights at heavyweight. It's a Chinese heavyweight. That's you don't see that much. Those guys just don't get that big. That's just the truth.
Right.
They don't get that big.
Right.
Drew,
we-
there was like
Go
this I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
There was
Go
an
ahead.
Asian guy. He was like about maybe 6'8". Hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big Asian guy, probably about 6'8". He's almost about the height of Nikolai Valuewell.
You breaking up, Ant. You breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's all good.
Well, how long does the show usually last? I'm just
Oh, you hear me
curious.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You can hear you now. Wait, then you came and you left.
Yeah, it's still like
Yeah, you freezing.
Hey, Brother Drew, how long is the show usually on for?
Now we normally run like an hour.
Okay, all right.
Sometimes we go with the feel. You know what I'm saying? So we start cooking. You know what I mean?
Right.
What I want to know, I'm always curious about what happens behind the scenes because I came up 80s 90s where I'm from the era when I wanted to know what was happening behind the scenes I had to wait till Ring magazine, the KO magazine, and by the time we got the damn news it's already 2-3 months late. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And if you're lucky you went to a gym and you knew someone that knew someone that knew someone and you got some
Correct.
stuff, you know what I'm saying? So were there anything did we have any near misses like fights that could have happened but didn't, fights that we wanted to see that almost happened?
Right now, I'm glad you brought that. Let's talk about Spence and Crawford.
Okay, if you can add something to that that we don't know, feel free.
Yeah, well,
it's a hot topic.
It's more than a hot topic because that's really the fight to see now because you got two undefeated welterweight champions. Everybody wants to see it, but somehow they can't get the money right. There's the problem. The money, cash, cold hard cash seems to be the hole up, and it's just reminiscent of Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao. They waited 5 years, even though they both got paid and all, but you don't want to wait this out because we understand COVID, so we can give a 2.5 year excuse. But now it's really got to happen this year. It can't keep lingering because let me tell you what's going to happen. And I've been doing this a long time. One of them is going to go out of the division. Because Bud, all right, because he was a 140, he was great. He moved up to 47, so he probably can handle that for a year or two. But Spence he's hanging out with cruiserweights, light heavyweights, beating on middleweights.
He's already going to 154.
Right, he can't hold that and it be a competitive fight because he's going to wear himself down and he's going to pare down and it's not going to end well for him. That's what happened if you notice with Canelo when he fought Mayweather. He's supposed to fight 154, but somehow they fought at 152 because Mayweather, if you really look at it, guys can understand, Mayweather came in at 119 as an amateur to the pros. So for him to go up to 154, that's a big jump. So now you think about Spence. Spence has been a welterweight for at least 10 years, and he's growing and he's handling it. So how much longer can he handle that weight? It's the same thing that's going on with Devin Haney. He's supposed to fight Lomachenko. See, all these things I'm telling you because your body grows. When I started, I was fighting 135. Now I'm 200, 180, 190. So your body, no, seriously. And I'm not a fat guy. You can look at my pictures. I'm in good shape. But your body as a man, you're going to grow and fill out. Let's look at Tommy Hearns. He lost a little history for you guys. He lost to Aaron Pryor in the box off for the Olympic trials in 1976. And Hearns went on to win the light heavy and cruiserweight title. So you're not going to hold that weight forever. It just can't happen. You know, these are not little men like jockeys. These are men that are the muscle mass, and it's going to happen. So it's going to take the sting out of the fight when they can't fight. Because Spence is not going to fight him at 154. I mean, not Spence. I mean, Crawford is not going to fight Spence at 154.
That's why we're saying that no, a lot of people are not confident that the fight's even going to happen at this point, because the next fight on the horizon that we know about is going to be Thurman and EJ at like 152, some crazy shit. And yeah, I know, Marco. I know, man. You know, I don't see the fight happening at 147, because that'll be ridiculous for him to go back down to 147 just to face Bud. So at this point, if the fight don't happen next year, because that's what we're looking at, if the fight don't happen next year at 154, the fight's not happening. You know, and I'm just cool with it, because people.
Man, that fight is not happening at all. That fight is already 4 years beyond when it was supposed to take place, and these guys have both gotten older. Life has happened. Accidents have happened. It's a done deal. I wish people stopped talking about it, really, because it makes my ass itch. You know, continue to talk about these things, because there are so many fighters in the sport, prime and prominent, that you can put the focus on. And I tell you, the sooner that you cast your eyes in a different direction, it will make people shift their attitudes. Because right now, everything is played before the camera, because we have social media. 20 years ago, we didn't have social media. You had Ring Magazine, Boxing, KO Magazine, Boxing Illustrated, and those publications came out quarterly, and you had to wait for months to get information and everything on these fighters and whatnot. So people were ready to show you what they had to offer. These guys today, they get people, and it's not to diminish us, but they can come on a show like this and talk stuff and everything like Ryan Garcia has done and not do a damn thing. And they have been doing that. And it's free promotion and free publicity. What was that?
Let's talk about Ryan Garcia. That's a hot topic.
No, we prefer not to. Really, it's like
he's got 2 fights
why?
Now.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. Why? There's so many other fighters that. Let's talk about the fact that Stephen Big Shot Shaw blew his opportunity this past weekend as an aging heavyweight that's still kind of in his prime. He blew the opportunity of a lifetime, because the victory this past weekend could have catapulted him into a place where people began to say, well, who is this guy? He's an American heavyweight. Okay, let's see what's going on. But he blew that. He went in there and sparred for 10 rounds. He didn't compete. He sparred. And I had said that I wasn't going to go in on him, but the more I think about it, it's like, you know what, man? You don't reward bad behavior. That's what's wrong with our society today.
Okay, that's a true story, man. I fucks with Big Shot, but I spoke to a couple of guys today that spoke to him personally, and he knows he knows he goofed up. He knows he goofed up, and that's what you don't want. You don't want to go home and then look at your work and say, man, I ain't smashed the gas on this motherfucker, and he could have did it. Now, F.A. Jogba, he does have some, that right hand is devastating, but he couldn't touch Shaw all night clean. And all Shaw had to do was put him on the back foot and make him think a little bit. I didn't see any real improvement from a Jogba. I really didn't.
I thought it was a snooze fest, no?
Yeah, it was. It was. And it was up to Shaw to force the action, because Jogba was just comfortable doing what he did, and that was Shaw's moment. Shaw had to go in there. I said in the post-fight, I said, look, man, the pre-fight, I said, look, it won't be that FA wins the fight. It's going to be if Shaw loses the fight. And that's just what happened.
Skill, right? He has some skill, too. I was impressed with the skill he has, not impressed with that he didn't put his foot on the gas. He was a skillful guy for his size, moves well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
he punched like he was being charged by the punch.
yeah, he was.
And he didn't look fatigued, so I don't know what I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then it dawned on me. I said, he did just that. All the good things that we've heard about him was from the gym. And he showed up like he was, trying to make his opponent look good, like in the gym. It's like, no, bro, you're not in the gym. You're on ESPN now, brother. You got to go for it.
There's also no way he's 30. I mean, he's at least 15 years older, but that's a different story. Right?
He got an old face, but
yeah.
the brother.
Well, to be honest with you, Marco may be onto something there because, hey, he fought like a guy that was 37 or 38. He really did.
Like
he really did. And you know what? I'll give you an example. Glenn Koff Johnson. Shaw looked like he might have a little of that blood in him. He does. And if you want to tell people you 30, okay. I said Frank Sanchez ain't the age that they've been saying he is. Hairline way back here like Peebo Bryson? I don't think so. You understand? But at least Frank Sanchez was in there throwing punches. He even put FA on the canvas.
He sure did.
So, I mean, listen, if you're going to be out there like that, you got to take the sweet with the bitter, And the criticism will come, especially you had people actually rooting for you. You had people tuning in because they were curious and this and that, and you did not perform. Dude, I can't tell you. That's like a person in a talent show. You get on stage, and whether you got stage fright or whatever, they pull your butt off of the stage. It's like they put the next act out. That's what happened to him. And I guarantee you, they're not going to be banging his door down to give him another opportunity.
Yeah, he may have blown it, man. He may have blown it. And we heard so many great things about him, and we hold him to a high regard, man. And to watch that, I was waiting round after round after round. I said, okay, it might be this round, it might be this round. By the time we got to round 7, I'm like, yo, come on, bro. What the fuck, man? And he just looked comfortable being mediocre. And he gave, because FA didn't do anything that made me say, yo, look, because of this, he won the fight. It could have been a draw. That'd have been fine. It could have went Shaw's way. I'd have been fine. It went FA's way. I'm fine with it. There's no controversy.
Basically, it was a sparring match. It was a sparring match.
And it did not live up to the hype.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you what's going to live up to the hype, guys. Let me interject something.
Hey, I got
Tank Davis, Devontae. He's going to live up to the hype because anybody he hits, they got problems. The only slight downfall, and I'm not a downfall because the little guys, he's short. So if he can overcome the guy's height, those guys are in trouble. The guy I know he's going to have problems with is my boy, Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? They both my boys. I know them both since they came to the gym. But that's going to be a fight, guys. When and if that happens, which it should happen. Now, Tank, if he fights Garcia is ruined. I mean, Oscar can take the fight against the money, but Tank is going to kill Ryan Garcia. It's going to be over in a round or two.
Here's my take on Ryan Garcia. The question for me is, how do I make this man go away? That's my question, because
I'm going to answer that for you. I'll give you the answer.
Go ahead.
You ready for the answer?
Go ahead, bro.
Well, if he fights either Devin Haney, if he fights Tank, or if he fights any of those guys, not that he can't win, but he's behind Oscar. That's what's doing it. Oscar got him. So once he loses, it's going to be over for him. Now, if he holds the kid around and moves him in another direction, he might be something special. Because he's not a bad fighter. He's just not a superstar mega fighter now. He's not ready. You see what I'm saying? He's like a guy with 2 or 3 fights. Even though he had 20, 30 fights, whatever he had, but he's not ready for the big times because he can't hang out with these guys the way they're hitting their skills. That's part of the problem with him. But by Oscar being behind him, he's like smoke and mirrors. And it's not a diss to him. He's just not ready because he's still young. They're trying to compare him to Oscar. He was nothing like Oscar when Oscar was 22, 23. Oscar was a superstar. But he's with Oscar. That's why you can't make him go away, because Oscar has him. So there's your answer.
And the worst part about that, Miles, is this. They're not even putting him in matches where he can become seasoned and grow. He's just stagnant. And that's the worst part, because we're hearing all of this, the mouth, between he and Oscar, and I wish that Oscar would go away as well, because the thing about it is, you know, and I'm old school. I need to see a fighter's progression. You can talk about fighting Tank Davis and everything, but you barely got back past Luke Campbell. You understand? So it's like,
yes,
I need to see some progression before you put them in there with guys that are at the so-called top or elite status. And as far as what you said about Tank fighting, you know, these guys, and he's short, the great benefit that Tank has in that is almost everyone he fights is taller than him. Almost everyone.
Correct.
So guess what? He knows how to fight bigger guys. That's why he busts bigger guys up in the gym all the time, because he knows how to fight the bigger guys. And this is the scary part about Tank. Tank can box. He really can. He has skills. But he also has that Achilles that was long feared in the sport of boxing, but you see so many of them out there today. He's a southpaw who can box. Southpaws who can box put people in fear. But not only can he box as a southpaw, he can freaking punch and get your ass up out of there. And that, at the end of the day, is something that none of these other guys, including Devin Haney, may be prepared for if he has to go get him. You see, you can be winning against Tank in a 12-round fight. You could be in the later rounds, 9, 10, 11. And Tank can be behind on all the scorecards. But if he decides he's getting ready to come and get you, what are you going to do? There are no Pernell Whitakers out there. There are none. No Pernell Whitakers out there.
Tank is one of the premier fighters. Correct. I kid you not. You're right. I'm not saying no. I'm not. Listen, those boys, whoever go against him, they got problems. It's going to be tough. Like I said, Devin is my guy. I want to see Devin do good, but it can go either way. I'm being honest. Like, it's like if you guys just go back a little bit with the Hearns, the Leonards, Durans, Benitez, Cuevas, I can go on and on. Those they fought each other. Now they're not doing that. Everybody's cherry picking. You know, not everybody, but most of the guys.
I don't think that people really understand how big of a matchup Tank versus Devin really is. How pivotal it is right now for them to fight right now in their primes. That's pivotal. That's what I call throwback right now for them to fight at this point in their careers. They're both young, but they're young, but they're seasoned veterans as far as the ring is concerned, because they've been at this since they were kids.
Correct.
And they're still kids by way of age, but they're old souls in the ring. We've made fun about Tank about how he balloons up in between fights, but I haven't seen him, and we joke about him missing weight and shit like that. But when he shows up, he's all business. Devin is all business. You understand?
Yes.
And understand this is a dream, a stylist. If you love boxing, you love this matchup, because I really can't call it. You know, Tank.
Right.
Tank
Exactly.
pretty much. Tank has a one-hitter quitter, but can he catch Devin?
Correct.
And Devin, he's not weak himself, because people tell me, they're gonna walk him down. I haven't seen anybody walk Devin down. It hasn't happened.
Well, can I say this about Devin? Devin went down under and won twice. He went to the other side of the pond and won twice.
That's right. So while these guys are both around the same age range, there's a little bit of history there because they know each other from that age. Right now they're at the top of their game. Although Tank is the biggest star, Devin is the one that's undisputed. You understand? Correct. So since no one cares about gold anymore, I think right now is the perfect time to put these guys in the ring with each other right now. We don't even need to be wasting time with this Ryan Garcia nonsense. You know, everybody just needs to stand clear, get out the way, and it makes sense for them financially. It makes sense, and for the fans, it makes the most sense for us because we're just gonna enjoy it. We gotta get to the right ears to make it happen. Because as long as Oscar's in the fray, and he has this guy, which to me is a paper champ, smoke and mirrors, because he couldn't beat either one of those fellas. Ryan Garcia, he couldn't beat Tank, and he couldn't beat Devin, so it's a waste of time. So whoever gets him really is getting a tune-up and just getting another notch in their belt. I swear
right now, because
I swear to God, Ryan is just one of those guys in the way. He's like, if you play a video game, he's like the mini boss. It's like, get out the way, goddamn.
Right.
Get out of here.
But see, the problem is that Oscar is pushing him, and Oscar don't want to let it go. It's like a little bit of an ego thing now, to be honest. You know, I guess you want to push your guy, but you really sending him to the Lions den. Either one of those fighters. Tank is going to knock him out, and Devin is going to punish him. Real
I don't
simple.
think it's an ego thing. I think it's a money
Somebody
thing.
doesn't disagree, tell me how.
I think it's a money thing. I don't know about ego. I think Brian's drawing a lot of cash for Golden Boy right now. He, you know, and you said you want him to go away, Drew, and unfortunately, even if he loses, he's not going to go away, not for a while. You know, he might eventually go away if he loses enough.
But Marco, where is he drawing this cash from, bro? He's never fought on pay-per-view. He's never really, you know, brought in big numbers. He's big in social media. He has that following there, but that hasn't translated into box office.
I don't really know. I don't really know the numbers, but I mean, am I wrong to assume that he would sell a lot of tickets?
No, he would.
I have not known him to sell nothing out, really. And again, if you're talking about being on social media, he's probably out of all the fighters got the biggest social media following. But that hasn't translated in the ring. Tank Davis is selling out like heavyweight numbers. He is. That cannot be denied. Devin Haney will potentially have his first pay-per-view when he faces Lomachenko this spring. Yeah. I got a video coming tomorrow morning about that. Plug, yeah. But anyway,
I guess.
but anyway, what I'm trying to say is, when you talk about the other guys who are good, don't forget we got Shakur just came up to that weight class. He's going to be thriving. We got a gentleman called Frank Martin, who's trained by Derek James, the Crab, I call him, because he's got a defense that's very impenetrable at this point right now. He knows how to defend, and he has good offense, and he's a southpaw. So there are other fighters out here. Ryan Garcia is just in the way, as Drew said a moment ago. He's just in the way.
I guess people look at Ryan, and, you know, when you see, okay, he has Golden Boy behind him. He has a lot of followers. He has speed. He's exciting. He's a good-looking dude. So they're thinking.
There you go. Yeah.
They're thinking that he might, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does do well. But like you said too, Stormy, if he doesn't do well, I wouldn't be surprised, because all that shit doesn't always translate into actual boxing tickets or pay-per-views.
Yeah, and that it's this thing. Of course, De La Hoya is his promoter, but there's a kind of symmetry there. He kind of gives you, he reminds you of when Oscar was a young kid and stuff. The hair, and you know, the girls like him. You know, but guess what? That's like what the UK was doing with AJ. Big, strong, big-looking guy, Herculean-looking guy, 6'6", 80-inch reach. But you hit him on the chin and his knees go to bobbling and wobbling and stuff. It's like, wait a minute here. You told me that this was the heavyweight of the future. But you look like when you put him in there, people are knocking his ass into the future because he's not living up to it.
Right.
And boxing is the only sport that when you find the truth out about somebody, it's over. It's over. There's no, let's repair it and put tape on it. And, you know, team sports, the bad running back, he could hide behind a bad line or something like that, fumbling the ball all the time. Right. Baseball players, you hitting, you know, you're 1 for 15 in your last at bats. There are other guys that can come in. But in boxing, it's just you. And the fact that it's you and you can't hold your own, we were just talking about Shaw, right? It's the same principle, man. You pull that curtain back and you see that person up there and you be like, wow, is that it? And it's like,
well, I feel like as outstanding as Ryan can be with his speed, his left hook, he is equally as unimpressive with his lack of a right hand. To me, it's crazy how his right hand is not developed at all, considering how sharp his left hook is. You would think somebody would correct that or work on it.
And he sticks his chin straight up in the goddamn air.
Does that too at times? Yeah.
Disgusting. You know, and how the fuck does he have a goddamn Gatorade deal?
Does he?
How did that happen? He was hitting the bag with Damian Lillard working out in the gym on a Gatorade commercial. I almost put my Tim boot through the goddamn screen. I said, what the fuck is this? Salute to Nonito Donaire in the chat, man. Salute. Nonito and Rachel.
Nonito, what's good?
Oscar, the money's behind him. Oscar De La Hoya.
Man, how the fuck does that happen?
Man.
The Golden Boy. Here it is. The Golden Boy's doing it.
Well, let's compare this. Does Jake Paul sell tickets? Because that's kind of a fair comparison. If he does, that's Ryan's similar, although Ryan's a real fighter, but they're still, famous on social media, not in boxing.
Well, the reason why Paul can sell tickets in boxing is because he puts things together and provides some kind of intrigue. Even though he does a bait and switch on people a lot, started out that this was the opponent, and guess what you get? You get this guy down here in the real fight, and some people will catch on to that foolishness. But I was already on to it before he stepped the foot in the ring for the first time. I'm like, because I've been around, you've been around, and some people will say, well, let's give him a chance and see. No, I'm an advocate of staying focused on the real fighters, man. Yeah. The real fighters. I don't have time to talk about those guys. That's just like I don't talk about Floyd Mayweather when he's having all these exhibitions. You either want to continue your career or you want to continue to rip people off. And since he's chosen to rip people off, why talk about him? Why give him shine? Why? He has enough. He's done enough in history, and the record book shows that. It's someone else's time now.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ryan choosing 10 is a win-win.
Let's talk about the Charlo brothers.
What about them? They're going in two different directions.
Yeah. Which one you want to talk about? Jamel or Jamal?
Either one. They're both good fighters.
All right.
Yeah, but they're going in two different directions.
Yeah, they damn sure. I want to talk about Jamel. Let's talk about Jamel first. To me, this is just to me. Jamel, I have him ranked high on a pound for pound list. We all spoke about that. Jamel, he's avenged a draw by knockout. He avenged a loss by knockout. I don't think him being undisputed was in the plans of the business of boxing. And Miles, you know how that go. They will do everything in their power to keep certain people away from certain things. Devin Haney, Jamel Charlo, things like that. And I think Mel, in my opinion, you can make the case that he is number one pound for pound based off of what he had to deal with.
And Drew, you can share with him what I said about that. You said a little bit of it, but you can continue. I don't mind you saying it, dude, because I think it's very true.
Jamel Charlo has won fights in every way imaginable. He won a fucking fight off of a jab to a body. Who does that? You know what I'm saying?
A special fighter.
Left hooks, right hooks. This dude is special, man. This dude is special.
He is.
And he's underrated and he's disrespected. And I know why. It's the shenanigans outside the ring. But bullshit aside, like I love to say, bullshit aside, you can make the case that he's number one pound for pound.
And he has rematched. He has rematched the men that he's either lost to or drew with, and defeated them both by knockout. So he erased their opportunities against him by ending them in the rematches. Harrison, late round KO. Castano, KO. And that tells me that he not only fights with purpose, but he don't give up. Late in the fight, he's still focused on taking your head off.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing.
Special
You
fighter.
can
Special
never
fighter.
accuse him of coming in out of shape. You can only critique him outside the ring with things he's said and how he's behaved outside the ring. But damn it, in the ring, he's a disciplined throwback fighter. I can put him in past eras for what he has shown in his career.
With that being said, 154 is wide open. And he's sitting on top. It's wide open, but although he's sitting on top, he has a lot of options. You understand? And I do believe, when he's the king of the crop, but there's a lot of lions over there that's trying to knock that crown off the top of his head.
Correct.
One of the guys who I want to see him fight is Sebastian Fundora, and I'll tell you why. The kid is what you call he's a specimen. You don't see motherfuckers like that tall making 154.
How tall is he?
He's 6'7".
Wow.
But I'm not sold. There, I said it. He's fun to watch. First of all, you would think at 6'7", he'd be popping people's heads off with a jab at 154. This guy fights on the inside.
Wow.
At 6'7", you fighting on the inside. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Now, he's been successful. I watched him fight Erickson Lubin. He bust Erickson Lubin's face up. I got questions about that. Y'all know how I get down, but whatever. But he can't fight no Jamel Charlo like how he fought Erickson Lubin. He's gonna get stopped. And I don't think Sebastian Fundora's team wants that fight right now for their fighter.
So what's the hold? What's the hold up? Who does Sebastian fight next?
Oh shit! I don't know, but
See,
they put him on a pedestal, so he's right up. He's right up there now. Errol is going up to 154. Jamel's still there. The 154 is still shark infested.
Yes.
But I want to see what this Fundora kid is really made of.
Yeah, bro, you sound like when you said, I don't know, you sound like Dan Patrick. I don't know. You ever hear him say that? Oh, no. I like that.
Man, look,
I heard Tony Harrison's name come up.
Oh, Tony Harrison? I don't know if he'll beat Tony Harrison.
I heard from some people. I don't think so either. I heard somebody talking about Tony Harrison, and I want to go back a little bit when y'all was talking about Stephen Shaw.
Go ahead.
But I was disappointed in him because you know what? When I watched that fight, I'm gonna go back in time a little bit. When I watched Jamil McCline versus Vladimir Klitschko,
I remember that
against and this guy in F.A. Job. I mean, the fights looked just a little had
my goddamn camera's fucked.
was just, but he was only throwing punches in spurts, here and there when he wanted to work, and I was disappointed in it, man. I was disappointed when.
Yo, Trick, you breaking up bad.
And you move on. He's gonna move on from there. So I don't know if anybody agreed with me, but I've been watching that fight with Klitschko and oh shit.
You breaking up bad, bro.
We got another guy we can throw in there. Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, you better now. Yo, you know what? You wanna call my phone? I'll just put you on three-way.
Me?
Yeah, you could call my phone. I'll just put you on three-way because your connection's kind of messed up.
Yeah, you're freezing and
What about Danny Jacobs?
Okay.
Middleweight.
Hold up, Miles. I'm gonna
Okay.
let Ant call. I wanted him to finish his point with
Okay.
With
I apologize when everybody get juice in.
Now we cooking, man. This is boxing talk. This is boxing talk.
You're right. Yeah, I got a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
I got some more if you get up. A lot of more.
Got a lot of more. All right, we all here?
Yeah, you hear me, Drew?
Perfectly.
All right.
That's better.
You know what? He's a lot clearer now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go on with your point. What was you saying, Trick?
Yeah, I was just basically saying that when I watched that fight last night, I thought about Vladimir Klitschko and Jamil McCline. I mean, Jamil McCline was just tearing everybody up with that jab, but then when he got in there with Vladimir Klitschko, it's almost like he didn't want to punch. He was like he froze up the moment got a hold to him, and Klitschko was stopping him round. I think he stopped him late, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what round it was.
He was flinching to every Klitschko feint. He was flinching.
Yeah, exactly. Flinching.
I remember that.
Yep.
That was disgusting.
Yeah.
He was mentally defeated.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, and if I'm not correct, wasn't McCline's nickname?
He just got in there against Vladimir, man, and froze up, man.
What you had said, Storm?
No, I was gonna say, if I'm not correct, wasn't McCline's nickname Big Time?
Yeah, it was.
So Big Time and Big Shot.
Oh.
Hey man, let me just put it together for you. Leave the big alone, okay? Because it ain't working out for you, huh? It ain't. And to another notion of what Trick just pointed out is that some of these guys, they live, on that cusp of like being in the gyms and things like that. But there's a host of fighters who were always great gym guys, but when the lights were on, they just didn't pan out.
Crime is more expensive than ever.
That's
but
a true story.
discovered a money-saving alternative.
That's fucking, and that's horrible.
crime?
That's horrible. But as it pertains to 154, Jamel is the king. A lot of people have him number one pound for pound. I could dig it. I could totally dig it. The man puts in work. As far as Jamal at 160 is concerned,
My brother Marco in the building.
I just need to see. I need to see how he looks when he returns. He got
I want to know more about like.
Wait, somebody got to go on mute. Wait, somebody got YouTube playing in the back. Okay. He broke his hand, I think, right?
Yeah, they say he broke his hand. And you're talking about Mel, right?
Yeah. No, Jamal. What happened with Jamal?
Maul is having personal problems, remember, with his domestic life,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And those kind of things. Hey man, that stuff can ruin fighters, bro. It can ruin them. Ask Mike.
Shit.
Yeah, that's Mike. Mike can tell you.
And my favorite guy too, Evander. You could ask him too, huh? Because Evander, hey, as much as I loved him as a professional fighter, man, I would never trust him to back my car out the driveway because pulling out ain't his game. It ain't.
That's a good one.
Yeah. See, that's what killed my man. He got 11 kids. You know that, right?
Yeah.
11. 1-1.
Damn.
And every time he said he heard on the radio a woman was getting on talking about Randy going to buy me a house in the car. He said, "That's me. I can't do that." That's what he told me. I can't do that.
Man, listen, I didn't even know. You think about it.
I can tell you that part. I could be a witness to that. Not because I saw it, because I see the kids.
Well, I'll tell you, Miles and Drew and chat, everybody, Trick, as much as I like the guy, I kind of prefer life when we had no social media like this. Because could you imagine Evander and Mike during their eras with everything that's available with social media, it's like, dude, they wouldn't even be considered the legends that they're considered today, because I'm like, what's wrong with these dudes, man?
All bad.
What is wrong with these dudes?
I don't know if it'd be any different from what we seeing these kids do today.
Well, it might even be worse. They might have double the kids, because you know when a woman hear that, she wants to be first online now. You know that.
Yeah, meal ticket, man.
You're right. No disrespect to the women. You could get on the gravy train. Guess what? They on it.
That's horrible. And this is the era we're living in, man. This is the era we're living in, man. This is
This
is a sad state of affairs, man. But Miles, you know what I wanted?
Yes,
I wanted to pick your brain about like the insides of the industry. First of all, do you know a guy by the name of Rick Glasser? Do you know him?
I heard of him. I know him personally. I heard of him. Who is he with?
He's a boxing insider.
Who is he with? That's the guy that does the interviews?
No, he's a pain in the ass. That's what he is. And he's a piece of shit. But
what does he do?
He's working with somebody right now. And I'm not gonna throw.
What? He's a boxing insider. What does he do? Does he do interviews? What does he do? Like, see how you do podcasts?
He claims he used to do matchmaking, and he had lunch with Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, these are the credentials that he said he had. And
is he an older fella? Is he a younger fella?
No white guy. No white guy. He did some time in prison for turning back speedometer numbers on cars and shit like that. You can Google him.
Right.
He's a piece of shit, in my opinion. But it is what it is. I just wanted to know if you knew this guy or not.
No, sir. Not now that you say that. I know everybody, but that name doesn't pop out to me.
Yeah. One thing, Miles, he's up there in you say he's up there in Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in Buffalo, man, and he's on Facebook a lot. Matter of fact, he's always going in it with Ross Thompson out of Buffalo. They always going in it on Facebook. I thought you might have been.
He's an 80-year-old troll. That's what he is.
Okay, that's the problem. Okay, there it is. So he was honestly not no disrespect to the man. He's probably just a wannabe, because you knew who the guys were. It was just like a handful with King and Aram and Shelly Finkel, Cedric Kushner. It was just a handful back in the 70s and 80s. So this guy here, the troll, probably was on somebody's shoelaces, just hanging on. He was probably, like the yes man or the water boy. No disrespect to the man. I don't know him.
Yeah, he gets online, he drops some names, and anybody could do that. He drops names, and for those people like I don't consider myself that young, but there's 2 decades between myself and a lot of other these new style fight fans, and they'll look at a guy like that. He's an old white guy, and they'll just take him at his word. And
Gotcha.
I'm like, nah, because when I was on Facebook several years ago, he's in the Facebook group going crazy, and then he put his phone number in there talking about, the PBC is going out of business, and call me if you want to know what the numbers are. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, man. If you don't take your goddamn phone about this group, have some weirdo calling you, and then you thinking it's me, get the fuck out of here, man. But you would think that he knew every goddamn thing, and he's been dead wrong about everything. And he's a fucking hater. I strongly believe that he's a racist. I don't give a fuck if he's married to a black woman. It makes me never mind. I don't care. But I was just curious if you knew him or not.
He was just probably trying to get a little attention. That's what happens to a lot of these guys. And just to give you up some real speed, I read three of Don King's books. When he was a kid, he wanted to be an aspiring fighter. He was 9 years old. He got hit one time and he threw it up. But Don is such an imposing man. He gets away with what he wants to. He's not a bad guy, but I'm just saying, a lot of these guys never laced up a glove. See, I have the advantage of being in there with all these world champions and being around like Riddick Bowe, Mark Breland, Eddie Mustafa. I was there in the gym. Eddie Gregg, I can go on and on. But some of these guys that talk boxing, they don't know about not just the sweet science, but they haven't jumped in the ring. Sometimes if you go in there for a ring and get hit, you think about it. You got a lot of good cut men like Donnie Milano, Richard Swartz. I can go on and on. Like I said, I've been around this game a long time. So anybody want to talk about boxing, I'm there. And not to brag and boast, It's just that, I did it.
So, like right now, I know your daughter's in the mix. That's dope. That's real dope.
Yeah.
Right now, what are your goals? What are you trying to do?
Well, my goals, I'm being I was a boxing manager. I was on, I don't know if the promotion part, but I'm going to work with everybody to move along and do shows, because part of the problem when I was in Vegas, I was on the verge of doing some big things, but things fell apart because people promise things, they don't come through, so it makes you look stupid. But people know my history of boxing, and people always come to me in my work. So what I'm going to do is to start the show March 18th with my boy Terry Hollis, and I brought Mike Tyson out of retirement to fight Bob Sapp, but it fell through because I took a little vacation. So that's when he fought Roy Jones, and everybody in the boxing industry knows that. Miles Bailey was the one behind it. He had a guaranteed $10 million contract to fight Sapp, and he got the same money to fight Roy. Plus, he made an extra $15 million from pay-per-view, so he made $25 million for exhibition, which is great for him. So
Wow.
hopefully we could do. Yes, sir.
I'd rather him see fight Roy. I mean, Bob Sapp. For those of you that don't know, Bob Sapp is like 6'5", all muscle, but the man can't fight.
Well, just to show you the history, what happened? Sapp was supposed to fight Holyfield, and Holyfield didn't want to do it. So Randy, this is, so he thought he was going to be a spectacle. So when they reached out to me, they said, "Well, Miles, you and Mike is cool. Why don't you have him fight Sapp?" And so when everybody heard about that, then it lit fire. Then Mike didn't want to do it at first. Not to me. He had told Eddie Mustafa this, because I went to Eddie and said, "Yo, talk to Mike. Mike ain't fighting." Next thing you know, Mike is fighting Jones. So you're right. It was a better fight. It was a good fight, even though it was exhibition. And Roy said, if Mike would have hit me again, I would have went down, because Mike hits hard. And Roy is my boy. Roy is one of the best pound for pound that ever done it. But Mike is the real deal. But in any event, back to me, I'm gonna push forward, try to do some boxing shows, get some things going, and get the game like the best fighting the best, like in the 80s. That's what my goal is, to get these guys stop cherry picking. No disrespect to them, but you can't worry about losing, because those guys lost. Sugar Ray Leonard lost. Ali lost. They all lost, but they all made big money because they gave the crowd what they wanted to see. Mm-hmm. So if you stop worrying about losing and just go ahead and do what you got to do, even if you lose in defeat, and fight a good fight, like when Hearns lost to Leonard the first time. Hearns really won that fight, but he lost because he got stopped. But Leonard, you see his eye was closed. He had the detached retina, couldn't fight for 2 or 3 years. So Hearns, even though he lost in defeat, he learned more he gained a lot by fighting and losing that fight. You see, even when he fought Hagler, but that was one of the greatest middle round fights of ever, even the first round. Anybody can go back and Google Hagler versus Hearns. You'll never see a middleweight fight like that ever.
Yeah. And hey, Miles, I got me and you talked. You were telling me about Mike McCallum.
My boy. Yeah, everybody ducked him.
The sparring session. Talk about the sparring session.
Okay, when he used to fight Tommy Hearns, what happened was, when he knocked out the Cobra. Okay, people thought, because my buddy Pinchback was my sparring partner, he was his. Then he knocked out Julian Jackson. And once he did that, nobody would fight him. So he was a sparring partner for Tommy Hearns. And Emmanuel Stewart used to hand him a picture and say, here's the picture of him. He would never fight him in the real ring. They would spar because McCallum used to tear him up in the body. So he said that was his, he covered Hearns, because nobody would, if you go back to history, once he knocked out Julian Jackson and Donald Curry, Hagler, Duran, Leonard, Benitez, Mugambi, Barkley, nobody would fight Mike McCallum because he was a spoiler. And when he really did get a shot with Roy Jones and James Toney, he was 40 years old. Right. And he's the one that was trading Devin Haney for the last 5 years. That's why Devin Haney is the monster he is right now, because of Mike McCallum, the body snatcher.
I always wanted to talk to Mike, man. He's an unsung hero.
Well, we're going to get him on. I talk to Mike like every other day. That's my boy.
Yeah,
it's coming.
I'd love to bring him on here, man. I have
that's coming, brother. That's coming. That's easy.
I appreciate it, man.
That
guy was you want to talk about underrated, man? You want to talk about an unsung hero?
Well, what it is, he didn't have the right people behind him. He's from Jamaica, and they just didn't want that. No disrespect to like being racism, but Mike McCallum was the real deal because he came from that tree. Here's another thing I'm gonna give you boxing fans. If you really want to get a good fighter, you have to have a good trainer because only a trainer, a boxer could go so far. If he don't have a guy show him all the techniques, all the inside stuff, he's going to hit his peak and that's it. When you have a guy like Mike McCallum who came from that school of Eddie Futch, who had about 93 world champions, including Riddick Bowe, you can take a guy. Eddie Futch, he passed away. He was Angelo Dundee, Ray Arcel. Yeah, so these are the things you need as a good fighter. You need a great trainer so the guy can bring out the best of you. And also the politics. If you got a world champion in your corner or a guy that had history, even a fight you lose, you can get a win or at least a draw. If you got those world champions in your corner, because the people that are judging the fight are going to give you a little bit of an edge instead of just not saying a no name, just a regular Joe Blow in your corner. You got a world champion as a 3-time champ as he was. You're going to get, but he showed it in the ring and he showed it with Devin. Look what he did with Devin Miles Haney. Yeah, I got a lot more. We just warming up.
Yeah, man. Yo, man, you cooking, bro. You cooking with gas.
Yeah.
And electric, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, man, this is dope, man.
And all of these are true stories. I'm not giving you what I heard or what I've seen with these little eyeballs.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know if you paid attention back then, like as far as betting odds. Do you recall either the betting odds or who was the favorite when McCallum fought Julian Jackson?
I don't recall, but what had happened was McCallum told me when he hit him, like when he got hit by him, his leg went out. He said, I thought I was just going to, he said, I couldn't feel my leg when he first hit me. This is what McCallum told me. He said, then he had to change it up. And but I think it was either Pick'em or maybe Julian was a little favorite because at the time, so you guys know, nobody wanted to fight Julian Jackson.
That's right. That's why I mentioned that fight. Julian Jackson was knocking over trees, man. That's
right. He knocked out Tavery Norris, and Norris beat Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah. We had Julian on the show last year.
Yeah.
And he looks great.
Yeah, I heard.
He looks great, man.
I'm gonna give you one more little history so you can go back so you can see where I fit in. Like I talked about my man Pinchback Farad. He was good. He went to the Olympics with Mike, the Junior Olympics. So he knocked out a kid named Clinton Mitchell, who it doesn't mean a name. Nobody will know that. Clinton Mitchell turned pro after the Empire State Games. So he had a fight or two. Then he fought a guy after his third fight by the name of B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins. And guess what? Clinton Mitchell beat him. That was Bernard's first loss as a pro in his first fight. He lost one more fight to Roy Jones a year or two or whatever, but he lost one fight after that in 20 years. But just to show you what my man Pinchback was, and that was the warrior from Bed-Stuy with me, who he would have been something special, but he went to jail for 10 years. He used to be, this is true. Farad Muhammad Pinchback. He had 110 amateur fights and won 99 of them. He was that good. He had one fight in Madison Square Garden, and the guy knocked him down, Domingo Molina. He got up in the fourth round, he dropped him. The announcer said, you just seen one of the rounds of the year. And that's when Hagler, Hearns, Holmes, all the great fighters were fighting there. And this is my man, Farad Muhammad Pinchback.
You are a boxing almanac, my brother.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. And I will continue to come on every time you got it and keep giving you guys more thrills and excitements of things that went on. I even go back before my time, but I just want to get stuff where people can go up and look up and go see and go, okay, yeah, he's right. It's the truth.
Are you have your own? Oh man, you said you don't have your own YouTube channel yet, right?
Not yet, but it's coming because you could just see the one thing I had was Shoot the Five, but he just passed away. My man Xavier Porter. You could go right there and pull it up. Shoot the 5 miles good. We started it out. I did 3 podcasts with him, but he did about 10. But there's still one I saw the other day on there. I got a USA shirt, and we talking all about boxing. And he let me get the platform. And my daughter came on the show one time. But you'll see it. You can see that I know my stuff even then, now, and up to 40 years ago. I ain't punch drunk.
You know what I would like, if possible, though?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna. I know I said if I spoke to your daughter,
sure.
I could be professional and not drag Eddie Hearn's name.
Well, please do, because she's very like not scared, but she's that type. Even though when I say more powerful than me, because she's really in the industry right now in the thick of everything. Because she's going to Mexico next week. She goes all over the world. She goes to UK, and everybody loves her because she speaks fluid Spanish. And you know how the Spanish fighters are. If you could talk their language, you could talk to them.
Well,
so
I would love to like just talk to her, and I could be professional and not drag Matchroom, but I had a viral moment on YouTube a couple of years ago, and it had nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. It had everything to do with Tyson Fury and that bullshit that happened over there. But I lean on Eddie Hearn very like. I have a video queued up right now. One day I'll show it to you about him, because I really don't fuck with the guy. But as far as boxing is concerned, if it's promoting your brand and what your daughter's trying to do, I'm all for that.
Well, thank you, brother.
I don't have to drag Eddie Hearn, because she's in business with them. I wouldn't want her on here while I'm clowning him for an hour, because that's you know what I'm saying. That's
yes, sir. I got you.
And I don't know. I don't think I dragged him too. I don't think I've said anything too bad that anyone else hasn't said. But,
no.
I don't want to put her in a position where her employment's in jeopardy.
Yeah, she'd be uncomfortable. No, I can see you wouldn't do that. But just to say a good word to me about him, I'm gonna say there's a lot of stuff that's said. I know it's sometime, and I'm not taking sides one way or the other. It's promotions, it's getting out, and also he's put in a corner sometimes. And he's saying things as when a guy's not smart or whatever. It's not right to say it, but he said it in a wrong way. It's like when people used to say that Floyd got a fourth grade education. I would love to have a fourth grade education and make $1 billion.
Bro,
give me that right now.
I've been saying that. Thank you.
Give me that right now.
Y'all clowning him for a fourth grade education, but he's worth $500 million. Who's winning in
life? Yeah. He made $1 billion in the ring. So you let me make $1 billion. You can give me a first grade education. You know what I'll do? I'll hire people around me to do the work. I got $1 billion.
Yo, let me say this too. I'm just curious, and this is something you can ask your daughter behind. I mean, it's none of our business, but she's a Matchroom employee, correct? She works for Matchroom. Eddie Hearn, Matchroom.
Yes, Matchroom Boxing. Yes.
I'm just curious, did she get any of that bonus money that Eddie got from DAZN?
I don't know. She's quiet about her money. You know how women are. She's looking for money from me. So again, women, when it comes to money, they'll do a lot of things for you. But when you start talking about their money, oh my God, you might as well walk the plank. You guys know, I ain't got to tell you. Women will do a lot of things for you, but when you start talking about unless they boogie bags, now that's different, or they got to pay like they weigh, they heavyweights. But you get a good looking girl, if she got some money, oh guys, you're dead.
Oh man.
So but I'm gonna stay on some things. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna crack the ice a little and open up some doors. Because you see what I've done so far. I know everybody had to enjoy this.
Yeah, man, absolutely, bro. Man, and whatever you're putting together, whatever you got your hands in, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Do not.
All right.
Because
I got your number. You just see I called you, so now you can see me. I know you don't have Facebook, but once in a while you can just peek at my stuff. You can see all the pictures and all the people. And like I said, Sugar Shammy, I got a lot of people that I'm linked in with because I'm cool with everybody.
That's cool in the gang, man. And we're gonna you got some events coming up. Your daughter's got an event coming up. Let me know. I will promote the nonsense out of it for real.
Okay.
Because all we're trying to do is build. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the biggest thing I got now is my man Terry Hollis. He's like my partner now. So we go back years, and he's trying to get his feet off the ground. And like I said, and he's got this show coming up, but I'm part of it because I'm his main man. So it's March 18th in Cleveland. He said he was working with Mickey Bay and Cortez Bay. So I'm going to call him when I get off the phone so maybe he can pull up and see that I talked about him a lot. Terry Hollis. He did a movie before, but he's coming into boxing real strong. So we're going to be working together on some things and try to really turn it around. And also give the fans what they want to see. The best against the best.
Yeah, man. We need that, man. Local shows, big shows, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know how the business works, man. And I don't know everything. I know some things, but I don't know everything. So there's definitely.
Well, you know enough. Like it's like you didn't come outside yesterday, so with our little talk earlier, and now you'll be just fine. Just fine.
Yeah, man, working, bro. And when you down in the city, hit me up, man. We'll get up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And shit, you know what I'm saying? You're not on Instagram, right?
No, that's her. Ringside VIP Boxing. That's her. People can look up Miss Ringside VIP. I'm a little. See, I'm from old school. I just learned this stuff with this and the Facebook. But as far as boxing, I'm not an almanac. I'm an encyclopedia. Anything you want to know, call me.
Let me pull her up right now. You said Ringside. I'm looking
VIP Boxing or Miss Ringside VIP. They call her Brittany Diamonds. You'll see it right there when you pull up.
Hey, Miles, tell them about Onyx, man.
Oh yeah, I started off Onyx with Fredro Starr. You could pull up the thing with the Solomon the God back in 2015. They were interviewing him and said, "How'd you get started?" Oh, Miles Bailey, the big hustler from Queens. They call him Miles Davis. They said, "No, Miles Bailey." They had a cab stand back in the 80s. And these kids, they used to call themselves the Uptown Kids. Marlon Fletcher, Fredro Starr, Sticky Fingers. I took them to Burt Bedell and Russell Simmons. And Run is my man, because Run introduced me to Donald Trump when we did WrestleMania 5 in 1989. I was right on the stage. So this is how far I put my hands. Yeah, huh?
I say, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I put my hands in a lot of different things. Like I said, I met Marley Marl. I mean, I know the whole gambit. It's just, that's me. Like I said, the music.
Marley Marl In Control Volume 1. That's a classic hip-hop album. If you do not have that album in your catalog, you do not know hip-hop. Marley Marl In Control Volume 1 is a classic hip-hop album.
I like the symphony he made in 88 or 87.
Man, they're on tour still doing that.
Yeah.
They're still on tour with that. Real.
Yeah, well, I met him. Now, me running DMC went down to his house in Spring Valley. I don't know if he's still living there, but this was 35 years ago when he was living in Spring Valley, upstate New York. So, that was a long time ago. He might have moved out to the Hicks or somewhere big, but this is in Spring Valley back in the 80s.
I just sent your daughter a request. The account's private.
Small body.
She'll hit. But you see it though. You see what she got on there, right?
Yeah. Well, I can't see the page, but I sent her the request. She has to let me in. My page is private too, so I get
okay.
It.
Well,
you get a lot of
because exactly. But I tell her what's the name so I can tell her to accept it.
Drew Titan LLC.
Okay, I'll definitely tell her that. I'll send her as soon as we get off the phone. I'll say, "Yo, please do this so you can look and see." So she'll see that you say you're not a weirdo and you're just trying to do things to promote, get up, get on to the next level, and bring boxing back to yesteryear what it was supposed to be. Now all these guys, I don't want to fight this guy, I don't want to fight that guy. Listen, if you're a fighter, look, I fought the guy Rosado, 2-time Golden Glove at the time. He was a junior Olympic champion. He had 90 fights, and everybody said, "Miles, you're gonna get knocked out." I caught him with a left hook. I fought a good fight. I lost the fight, but I had a couple fights. He had 90 fights, but he went on to win the gloves that year. He won the gloves the next year. In the third year, he lost to John Meekins. And you know who John Meekins was? John Wesley Meekins was a good welterweight. He junior welterweight because he fought somebody that he lost to for the title. But again, that's just the pool of guys I was around all these years from 1981 or 80 till now. And Marvin Hagler, that was my man. I got a whole bunch of pictures with him. Because when we went to get Holyfield's inauguration at Turning Stone in 17, I was with Holyfield the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah.
We working, man. We trying to get Evander on here.
Oh, we're working on that. I just got to catch up with him. He's all overseas. We're going to make these things happen for you, brother. Or at least I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best.
No doubt, man.
And I did at least 3 or 4 interviews with him because one time the guy did it for me. I was with Jerry Jones. I said, "You got to put this up." It was me, Evander. He was talking about when Canelo was supposed to fight Amir Khan. I said, "Canelo's going to knock him out." And Canelo did. And Evander said, "I don't know who's going to win the fight. You got to talk to him. He's the expert." It was cool. So it's right there. All you got to do is pull up. Miles Evander Holyfield. You see all my stuff with Evander. That's my guy.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. But this is dope, man. I got you locked in, good brother, man.
Okay. And I'm glad there. My man Ant put all this together. That's my guy.
Appreciate it,
Again,
man.
you right there, right, Ant?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
DC. I gave, like I said, I could get Bo on too. I don't know if you want Bo. That's my man too.
Absolutely.
He called me 3. Yeah, he called me 3 times already. So I said, "Yeah, Bo, I'm gonna send him some information to get with you, and so he can come up on the show because he still got up there. The knowledge is there."
Good. I love to talk to Big Daddy Bo, man. I love to
Yeah,
talk
Big
to him.
Daddy, and he'll tell you, I'm a
be okay.
2-time world champion. He always put his fingers up. I'm 2-time. He don't let nobody forget that. I did, and you know what's crazy? He only got one loss. A lot of guys don't know that. Bo was like 40-something and won. He got one loss, in which he avenged because he lost the first. He beat Evander the first time, lost, but then he stopped Evander in the third fight because he was really just a bigger guy, to be honest. 6'5", 230. I mean, Bo was the real deal. But
I just met him. Big dude.
That's my guy, Big Daddy.
Daddy Bo, man. Man, that guy. Stormy, what did Riddick Bowe say when he fought what's his name in the UK? Herbie Hyde. He said Herbie Hyde was the hardest fucking puncher he ever fought.
Yeah, he said that Herbie Hyde had knocked him out on his feet and then hit him with another shot and woke him back up.
I heard about Herbie Hyde.
Yeah, man. Herbie could crack, man. And he wasn't the biggest of heavyweights, but Herbie could crack, man. Herbie was a big dude, man. I mean, like he had a lot of pop, and he didn't know that he had Riddick hurt like that. But years later, Riddick said, "Listen, man, if that guy if he kept at it, he'd have got my ass out of there." I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Well, at least he was honest. That's the whole thing about the fight game. A lot of these guys don't want to come clean. Just tell the truth. Listen, getting in there is like 3/4 of the battle. A lot of guys don't want to step into that square circle. They talk about it. They throw the punches, but when you're getting hit by the other guy, it ain't the same. You can easily say, yeah, till you get hit one time. Just in a gut shot. It's some serious stuff in there.
Hey, Miles, you ever heard this story from Evander? When he fought George Foreman, he said that he came back to the corner after one of the rounds, and he asked Lou Duva and Georgie Benton, he said, "Did he knock my teeth out?" Because he said George hit him in the mouth, and he had hit him so hard. He came back, he said his mouth was numb. He said, "Did he knock my teeth out?" And he said they sat him down and everything, right? Started giving him water and everything. They was like, "You good, champ? You good?" And he was like, "You know how your corner could be lying to you, you know?" They say, "You good? Don't worry about nothing." He said he was worried that George had
about that barrage he hit George with in the 9th round. He thought George was going to go down there. Then he said I had to hold him after that because in the last round he started holding George. It's true.
Right. George was something else, man. What a strong man, right? For that time when he fought. And hey, the original prediction by George said he was going to knock Evander out in 2 rounds, right?
Right.
Well, and he stood on that. He was like, I'm 2 rounds. I'm gonna knock him out. It's gonna be like bang. It's all over. We're gonna be hugging and everything. George was very funny back then in them days when he would give the interviews. And they used to have these shows on ESPN with Charlie Steiner at nighttime.
At the time, George might have knocked Tyson out. And I'm going to tell you guys why. He was going to take the same path like he did Joe Frazier. The little guys that got to come for him, just think about this. The time George Foreman lost the 2 fights, he lost to Jimmy Young, he lost to Ali. So what I'm trying to tell y'all, he never lost to a guy that stood in front of him. Think about it. Because George was one of the first throwback big heavyweights. He knocked out Ken Norton and Joe Frazier both within 2 rounds each. He knocked out Joe Frazier again. Norton wouldn't fight him. And those guys gave Ali, they could fight Ali 100 rounds. And it'd be Ali would probably win a close decision. But anybody that stood in front of George Foreman, they hit the canvas. Michael Moore, because if you remember Teddy Atlas, go get this guy. George hit him 1 shot in the 11th round, boom, knocked him out cold. Go look at it. Just giving y'all history. And a real fight you want to see, watch when he fought Ronnie Lyles. You want to see a rock. There you go. If you see a fight like that today, each guy should get $100 million for that fight.
Man, if we saw a fight like that today, the ref would get in the way of it.
Yeah, you're right. But it was a real good rock'em sock'em. George went down, Lyles went down, and it went 5 action. And then you got one of the greatest announcers announcing it, Howard Cosell. So you guys pull that up. You want to really see a fight? George Foreman versus Ronnie Lyles, 1976, January 8th, or January 20-something, is in 1976.
Listen, man, that's the elevator fight. But history did repeat itself in the early 90s when Michael Moore took on Smoking Burt Cooper. The same layout took place in that fight where Michael Moore damn near was knocked out in the first round when Cooper laid into him, and then he gets up and he puts Cooper on the canvas, and Cooper had to take a count. Then a couple of rounds, Moore went down again, and then Cooper went down again and was out. So it was like Foreman Lyle Part 2 with those two guys. I'll never forget that fight. I was watching it the night that it was on pay-per-view. They were on the undercard. And I was sitting there grinning from ear to ear, man, because that's the first thing that I thought about was Foreman and Lyle. And you thought you would never see anything like that again, right? And here they are, Burt Cooper and Michael Moore actually recreating history right before our eyes.
Yes.
That was some good stuff.
Well, guys, my phone is about to dead, so it's an hour and a half, guys. I'll be ready for the next go around if y'all need me, and I'll have a whole bunch more. I'm just warming up for you guys.
No doubt, man. Looking forward to getting you back, man. I got you locked in, man. I'll definitely be in touch, good brother.
Yes, sir, and I'm gonna be calling you too.
All right.
Okay, brothers.
All right,
God
man.
bless and peace out.
Yeah.
Peace to you, bro.
Man, that was awesome. That was awesome, bro. That was awesome, man. Trick Notes, you did it again. Hold up, I think I lost him on the damn it. Oh shit, and Freddie just texted me. Fuck.
You hear me?
Y'all can hear you. We can hear you there. Yeah. Call drop.
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Did it again, brother. That was awesome. That brother, I did find him on YouTube. I closed out the damn page by accident. But this is the brother right here. This was who was on the phone with Miles Bailey. And the reason why I brought him on is not only because he has extensive knowledge. There was certain things. I always told the story about, the boxing club that was at Roberto Clemente in the Bronx. He knows about that. He was there. Probably there's like maybe a 10, 12 year gap between us. He probably was walking around there when I was like 8 or 9 years old. He was already like 19, 20. So he was probably in the same place at the same time, but I was a shorty. But you bring guys like this on, now there's gonna be some people that may look at this and say, oh man, and salute to Warriors Boxing, bro. Salute to you, brother. I was reading your chat. Salute. Here's the deal. What makes him any less credible than a Rick Glasser? Now, he doesn't know Rick. He only knows what I brought to him tonight. But what makes him any less credible? You understand? This man, you know how you can tell where people have been just by how they talk? I was on the phone with him a couple of hours ago, and I could tell, I said, okay, he's official. He wasn't dropping names or whatever, but he's been some places. All right? He had some legal trouble or whatever, but that's behind him. So did Rick Glasser.
Yeah.
Rick Glasser had legal problems. Look it up. So before anyone jumps on there and say, oh, well, let's look up this, because you know how you trolls like to fucking run and go look up people. I'm telling you right now. All right? He did some time. He's out. This is America, the land of second opportunities. Bernard Hopkins is a felon, motherfuckers. Mike Tyson is a felon, motherfuckers. All right? Now, I don't know what this brother did. I'm not concerned. I mean, his daughter, who is fine, by the way, she's in the industry. I do want to get on the show, and talk some boxing, and I'll be professional. I'll keep Eddie Hearn's name out my mouth just for the sake of her, but they're doing some things in boxing, and that's what we're about right here. You dig? So that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. And Trick, man, thank you again, man. This was another great grab. This is, and well, I ain't gonna go off on that, man. But this is what I like. This is what I like, man. You talking to brothers like that, because you never know where could it go. You know, this brother's gonna be putting up shows. If it's local or depending on how far it is, you're gonna see me popping up in there, rubbing elbows, and you know, building bridges and helping people. You're gonna see a lot more guys you may never heard of on the show. I never heard of Miles Bailey, but you see, this man is connected. You dig what I'm saying? Some of the best information you can get off from guys like this.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know who Stormy knows. When I tell y'all, when he puts up a video, go listen to the damn video. Do y'all watch Scrapbook? Do y'all know how many people he knew? Y'all have no idea. I bet y'all didn't know that Scrapbook Boxing used to bare knuckle fight in Brooklyn. I bet y'all didn't know that. You understand? Stop playing, man. This shit is real. You could do more learning when you fucking listen. That's what I'm saying, man. For real, man. And shout out to Kurt Sugar, man. That's our guy.
Grandfather.
The grandfather.
Yeah, grandfather, man. Kurt, man. Yeah, I chatted with his son a couple weeks ago, man, and yeah, and Kurt's a grandfather, man. Miss old Kurt, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was my friend, man. That guy. I love Kurt like a brother, man. It's like
too, man.
What a man. What a man.
Yeah. Closing words, gentlemen.
Oh, great show, man. We really had a very good guest on tonight with Miles, a person who brought some information and brought some experience that was needed to be shared, you know, and that's what this is all about. And salute to Trick Nolte hooking us up with this and everything. But I'm just very proud and glad to be a part of that. And I look forward to more. So, and thank you guys for allowing me to be here as well.
All good, brother. Trick. Let them know, man. Let them know. If they don't know, let them know.
Hey, Trick Nolte. Find me here with y'all on Sundays. These legends. I'm Anthony Carter on Facebook. And, you know, once again, man, shout out to Miles, man. Good brother, man. I don't know how many hooked up on Facebook, but I think he might have messaged me or something. And we just went from there, man. I've been talking to him like about a couple weeks now. Going about 2 weeks, just talking with him on the phone and stuff, man. And, you know, and he dropping some stuff on me, man. And, you know, he's trying to get it going, man. I wish him well. Anything I can do to help him, you know, and sure, you know, you right there in New York, man. That's right. Even better. So, man, he's a good dude, man. And like earlier, Drew, like I was saying, I was on the phone with Riddick Bowe and his sparring partner, Jonathan Felton. And if I'm talking with Miles, maybe we can set that up, man, to try to get him on here. You know, I just kind of send him, get him on here.
That'd be a good look, man. And you know, we all know that, you know, Riddick, you know, it's hard for him to talk and stuff, but it'd be cool to have him on and, you know, have his friend there, you know, to you know, help him on the interview, man. You know, and you know, that also shows, you know, the young fighters that, you know, Riddick reached the pinnacle of the business, and he had some troubles. And I'm absolutely sure there's a lot of gems he can share, you know, to let people know, look, there's a lot of fame and fortune in this, but it might come at a price. And are you willing to do this? Because then you got Riddick Bowe's story, but not everybody turns out like Floyd Mayweather. You understand? Right. And the reason why Floyd Mayweather moves the way he moves, as far as the business is concerned, is because, you know, and I say this with all respect, you don't want to end up like Riddick Bowe.
Hey, I met him, bro. I met him.
Now, was that the guy that we used to see on TV? It's not,
bro.
It's not a game, man. It's not a game. You know, I was watching an interview from last year. Fucking Shane Mosley's not talking well at all anymore. His speech is kind of slurred now. You understand? And I'm like, ooh. You know, this is not a fucking game. It's not a fucking game, and that's why, to the trolls, this is why I'm so rough when I even think you're cheating. If I even think you're fucking cheating, I got a problem with that. One punch and your shit could be over.
Yo.
Listen, man, Riddick Bowe had a career in one night against Andrew Galata.
Yes.
He went into that fight, the Riddick Bowe that we knew. He came out of that fight the precursor of the guy you see today.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that many people know what you're talking about, Stormy. I know what you're talking about. It happened in that fight.
It happened in that fight.
My God, man. My God, man. This is not a game. I mean, we're animals for loving the sport, but can it at least be fair? Can it? You know, and this is the shit we talking about, man. That's why I'm a stickler for certain things. That's why I'm rough, you know, and I'm gonna stay on that. You know what I'm saying? But man, this was dope. You know what I'm saying? And more shows like this, man. I would love to get Big Daddy Bowe on here with his guy on here, and you know, people need to see that. And I want you guys who never saw, one of our first guests that Trick got us was the Angel Man Freddy interview, and salute to him. But that really, like, I had to go sit in silence for a second when we ended that stream.
Yes, it was tough, man.
That was real tough because that was not the guy I used to watch on HBO.
Look, it's right here, man. Look at him.
There it is. There it is. I think his right eye could barely blink. I was really like goofed up. I was really goofed up because I couldn't. I said, "Oh shit,"
yeah,
you know. And that man gave his life to the business.
Yeah, I always check on him, man. Every week I send him a text message just to check on him.
He good?
Yeah, he's good. All them guys, man. You know, Scott Pemberton, man. You know, I always check on them cats, man. See how they doing.
You know why? Because no one else is checking on them.
Nobody, you know nobody else, man.
That's why I talked to Freddie. Freddie, you know, Freddie got a new phone number. If you don't know already.
No, I don't know. I don't have it.
He just got it. He just got it 2 days ago.
Man, Freddie always switching phone numbers, man.
Switching phones. But one thing I appreciate is that
you stay in contact. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it's not a game, man. I didn't find it respectful when he was doing other shows and, you know, the chat was disrespectful to him. I didn't like that shit.
Yeah, I unsubscribed to a certain person, man. They was disrespecting him over there at Fred's, man. I unsubscribed to him, man. But that's another conversation.
It wasn't Fred. It was the motherfucker in the chat.
Yeah, that's just from in the chat. I was unsubscribed to him.
I know you're talking about, man. I was like, man, come on, dog. This shit ain't funny.
Listen, when you hold these guests, you know, you hold court with these guests, and people are disrespectful to your guests, and, you know, they take time out of their lives, regardless of where they may stand. And a lot of these fighters are not well off, but they are nice enough to come and share their time, their experience and everything with us. The most that a person can do is listen. The least that they could do is show respect.
That's right.
And when they don't do that, I'd rather boot 100 of those in the chat for the sanctity and upholding the respect of the integrity of the guests than to have them coming around. Because if they're going to disrespect your guests like that, they really are disrespecting you and the platform and your whole purpose in doing what you do. So it's always wise to look at things the proper way instead of just, you know, taking it as an opportunity.
True story, bro, man. Well, I'm gonna bring this to a close, man. This is dope, brothers, man. This is dope. Y'all already know where to find Stormy. Y'all know how to follow Anthony Carter, aka Trick Nolte, man. And y'all know I'll be here tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? It's about boxing, y'all.
Man. We got some stuff coming, man. Good stuff coming.
No doubt, man. We're gonna be, this is gonna be a good year, man. We're already getting off on a great foot, man. So, man, salute to y'all. Salute to everybody, man. And let's grow as a community, because that's what we do. Bounce on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.